Hello everyone, hello Mrs. Aguilar. This is Group 6 and for today's video presentation, we will be talking about Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory. This is headed by Dayan Benemerito, Lovely Karakot, and AC Abelia. To start, are you familiar with this person? Guess the word. But if you're not, let us continue to the next slides so that at the end of this presentation, you will know. Yuri Bronfenbrenner is a famous Russian-American psychologist who is most known for his ecological systems theory, that is, the child development. He went to the children's daily lives, home, schools for studying their behaviors and actions. He recognized that there are multiple aspects of a developing child life that interacts with and that affects the child, taking into account wider influencing factors in the context of development, that is, the ecology. So basically, the ecological system theory is based on observation. In this theory, Yuri Bronfenbrenner understands and explains the child development. This theory also argues that the environment you grow up affects every facet of your life. The developing child is surrounded by a series of complex and interactive systems or contexts. These include the different factors around the child that exert in his or her development. To better understand the child, one must not look at one immediate environment where the child is raised, but also on the influence of the larger context. That means the Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory views child development as a complex system of relationships affected by multiple levels of the surrounding environment, from immediate setting of the family, school, to broad cultural values, laws, and customs. To study a child's development, then, we must not look only at the child and her immediate environment, but also at the interaction of the larger as well, because a child's development is embedded within a complex system of relationships. Now, what are the influences that these people have on you? Your parent, your classmate, your friend, or your teacher? Yuri Bronfenbrenner in the year 1917 to 2005 developed the ecological system theory to explain how everything in a child and a child's environment affect how a child grows and develops. So this theory helps us understand why we may behave differently when we compare our behavior when we are in school or at work. This theory tries to explain how their immediate and surrounding environment affects the way in which the child grows and develops. He labeled different aspects or levels of the environment that influence children's development, including the microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and the chronosystem. Now let's start with the exosystem. The exosystem level includes the other people and the places that the child herself may not interact with often, but that still have a large effect on her, such as parents' workplaces, extended family members, or the neighborhood. These are the environment in which the child is not involved and are external to their experiences, but nonetheless affect them anyway. An instance of exosystem affecting the child's development could be if one of the parents had a dispute with their boss at work. The parent may come home and have a short temper with the child as a result of something which happened in the workplace, resulting in a negative effect on development. Now let's move on to the macro system. The macro system is the largest and most remote set of people and things to a child, but which still has a great influence over the child. The macro system includes things such as the relative freedoms permitted by the national government, cultural values, the economy, wars, and others. These things can also affect the child either positively or negatively. The macro system differs from the previous ecosystems as it does not refer to the specific environments of one developing child, but the already established society and culture which the child is developing in. Thus, culture that individuals immerse within may influence their beliefs and perceptions about events, that transpire in life. The chronosystem. The chronosystem adds the useful dimension of time, which demonstrates the influence of both change and constancy in the children's environment. The chronosystem may include a change in family structure, address, parents' employment status, as well as immense society changes such as economic cycles and wars. The chronosystem is represented by the white crescent shape outside of the circle. The chronosystem looks of time the major life and historical events or transitions taking place in different eras that affect the development of a child. These experiences may be negative or positive. A negative example is a divorce, a death in the family members or someone who passed away, or maybe a catastrophic event. A positive example may be graduating from high school, a marriage, the birth of a sibling, or equal rights for all genders. Therefore, Chronos system is being based on environmental changes over time and major life events throughout a child's life that affect them by altering behavior and or decision-making processes.
So I am going to discuss the microsystem. The microsystem is the small, immediate environment the child lives in. Children's microsystems will include any immediate relationships or organizations they interact with, such as their immediate family or caregivers in their school or daycare. The microsystem refers to those most immediate contacts in the child's life. So examples of it would be the child's family, their nursery or playgroup, their neighbors, and their local community. Next is mesosystem. Mesosystem describes how the different parts of a child's microsystem work together for the sake of the child. For example, if a child's caregivers take an active role in a child's school, such as going to parent or teacher conferences and watching their child's soccer games, this will help ensure the child's overall growth. So, the mesosystem refers to how a child's development is influenced by the intersection of the microsystems. The relationship between different individuals or settings that the child interacts with can have an indirect impact on the child. An example of it would be how the home environment interacts with the school environment. So that's all for mesosystem and microsystem.